I'm Mark Wilson. I'm 33 years old. My job title is Staff Attorney at the California Supreme Court, and my annual salary is $80,000. I think I have a good relationship with money. In law school, it was a little tough so I paid for law school with a combination of scholarships and loans. And living off of scholarships and loans can be a little daunting because the budget's kind of tight and you have to make it last for an entire, whatever it is, semester until you get new loan money or new scholarship money in. So, you start off the semester flush with cash, and then over the course of the semester, and then by the end of the semester, you're like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to really pare it down here. So you just have to, and one thing that I wasn't that great at was managing it all along the way. So I wish I had been better at managing the money, like this finite supply of money over the course of, say 4 months. So I was able to pay for my undergraduate education with a combination of savings bonds that my parents had the foresight to buy when I was a kid, when I was born actually, and scholarships. And the scholarship process is varied. It can be need-based, or it can be merit-based, or it can be a little of both. I got a little of both. You can just apply for need-based scholarship by showing that you need it. You have to fill out the FAFSA, which you need to do every year. You should always fill out the FAFSA, because even for merit-based scholarships, some colleges won't give you any money at all unless you fill out the FAFSA first. So fill out the FAFSA by your school's FAFSA deadline. There's a federal deadline, and then there's a school-specific deadline. Fill it out by your school's deadline. Figure it out what it is so you can get the money that you deserve. And merit-based scholarships involve generally, you apply for them, you write an essay or something, you might have to come in and interview with people. It's based on your grades, or it's based on the essay you write for whatever reason. When I went to Miami, in-state tuition was about, I think, $25,000 a year, and about half got paid by the savings bonds, and about half got paid by a combination of, at any one time, maybe like 5 or 6 different scholarships. So a scholarship isn't really enough. If you want to really pay for your education, you need a combination of several, and they can come from your school, they can come from community organizations, they can come from your high school. My high school had an alumni scholarship that if you graduated last year, apply for it and we'll give you some money. So always be looking in a variety of different places for scholarships. They're not all going to come from one source, like just your college. Law school cost probably $35,000 to $40,000 a year, and I have about $100,000 in student loan debt. Well, you can pay off student loans in 20 or 30 years. I'm on what's called an income-based repayment plan, so you'd pay a lot more, but if you make under a certain amount of money, you can minimize your monthly contributions to your student loan. You end up paying longer into the future, but for the right now, your payments are a little more manageable monthly. And then there's also a public interest loan forgiveness option. So the way that works is you pay 120 on-time monthly payments, which ends up being 10 years. It doesn't have to be like consecutive. It can be spaced out for 20 years. But you make those 120 payments, and then the government forgives the rest of your debt. But the qualifier is you have to work in a government, nonprofit, or charitable field. So it's designed to, reward people who have decided to work for the government or work for nonprofits or charities or things like that. Maybe you really want to be a high-paying corporate attorney, and if you make that money, you can pay off your student loans in a few years. But if you want to work in the public sector and you have a lot of loan debt, well, this is a great way to serve the public while also getting your loans paid off faster. The public interest loan forgiveness option can kind of be created or destroyed by Congress at will, so it remains to be seen whether it will continue, but for now, it's available as an option. The public interest loan forgiveness option is only available for certain kinds of federal government loans, and if you refinance, that option might not be available anymore. So you can refinance at a lower rate, but you might lose other benefits. If you have a combination of different private and public loans, it could be advantageous to refinance, but the lower interest rate itself is not a reason to refinance your loans. I love living in the Bay Area. I grew up in the suburbs, so living in a big-ish city, the whole area itself could be one enormous city. So I love being, in the center of things, and there's always things to do and things to see. You can go to the baseball game, you can go to the art museum, you can go to a concert, you can go everywhere. The downside, though, is that the Bay Area is very expensive. I live in Oakland, which is across, actually, San Francisco Bay from San Francisco. San Francisco has gotten probably unaffordable for most people. And even in Oakland now, it's getting a little more unaffordable as refugees from San Francisco come over to Oakland to try and buy a house or something. But people are getting pushed out even into the suburbs if they want to buy a house for what it costs. I make $80,000 a year, which is about $6,700 a month gross. And then after they take things out like taxes, federal taxes, state taxes, retirement plan. I'm part of the state employee retirement system, so they take money out for pension. That's taxes and all that is about $2,430. So I'm left with $4,270 a month. Of that, my rent takes $1,800 a month, which again, Bay Area. Gas and electricity is about $50 a month. That varies seasonally. It can be as low as $15 in the summer and as high as $60 in the winter. Internet and TV is $70. I actually don't have TV. I have an antenna, and then I just watch everything else online. My phone bill is $100 a month. My car's paid for, but I pay insurance, which amounts to about $100 a month. And I take public transport generally to get to work because parking's expensive and the traffic is just terrible, so I just take public transportation. My student loan takes up about $600 a month. Food is about $300 a month. Other stuff, which is like subscriptions and magazines and newspapers, things like that, is $100 a month. Entertainment and restaurants is about $300 a month. And I'm left with $850, most of which goes into a separate savings account. Budgeting is really important, especially in a place like here where things can be expensive, so you have to know how much money is going in, how much money is going out, what you can afford to splurge on, what you can't, where you can save or not save. So yeah, budgeting, and that's one thing that I wish I had done more of learning growing up, is budgeting and the importance of having a budget. To be aware of your budget, obviously, maybe not obviously, check your bank statements. Know what you're putting on your credit card. Check your credit card bill every month. Check your utility bill every month. My mom, to this day, once a month, she sits down on the couch in front of the TV, she gets her little lap desk out, and she writes out her monthly checks. And she reviews her bank statements. They had to drag her kicking and screaming into the world of direct deposit because she always wanted that paper check because she wanted to know how much she was getting paid. And so that would be my advice to anyone for making a budget, is know what's coming in and what's going out. Review. It's boring, but review your bank statements. Check your credit card bill for any purchases maybe you didn't make. One thing I wish I had known about is the importance of a credit score. And it's important to build good credit early on, because that's one thing that they analyze, is how long you've had credit. So you can start out when you're in college with a credit card, just to build your credit and pay your bills on time. And your credit score influences a couple things. It influences the interest rate you might get on a loan or a mortgage or something like that. The better your credit score, the lower the interest you'll pay, because the less risk you are in the eyes of the lender. But it also influences other weird things like renting an apartment. 100% of the time, the landlord is going to ask for your credit score to make sure that you pay your bills on time. Often, as part of a background check for jobs, they'll look at your credit score. Generally, the credit score stands in, I mean, it's sad that they do this, but it stands in for your general responsibility. Do you pay your bills? Are you a responsible person? Can we trust you with having this apartment, having this job?